I be the man to blast on the suckers. I be the man to run the suckers. You don't know you cocksuckers. I'm a man that's drinking vanilla. Crown boy, you feeling real smooth. Dude, attitudes be changing left and right. I ain't talking about nothing coming off the top of the brain. I'm feeling like insane podcast. Unpredictable like mystical. We doing that thing. We bang. Easy breezy. Back in Hawaii. Loving what I got to do to make it you like me. Steve, huh? Alexandra. I don't want to mess with anybody. Look, I'm the man in the game.
How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm out of Fort Leonard Wood.
Yeah. How you feel after that second COVID shot? That's the better question.
My arm is sore. But other than that, I had a headache and I took a BC and it went away. Talking about that and what else was it? In a battle with my RS about my fitness report. Both of them issues.
You was a stellar Marine up there, so what would be the issue?
He marked me below average.
Why?
That's what I don't know. And that's what I need to talk to the Sergeant Major about next week. Because how can you even write me a fitness report when the PED says you got to evaluate me for at least 30 to 90 days? And he's never done that.
Yeah. How long he evaluated you for?
From April to December.
Dude, you can't count. If he evaluated you, if he was your report and senior from April to December, that's more than enough time.
Right. But you got to see me to evaluate me, right?
Well, he taking the word of somebody else.
He is. And that person didn't evaluate me either.
Yeah, you can't write a fitness report on somebody or get him a below average fitness report without having some kind of some proof. You ain't get no page 11s, you ain't get no trouble, you passed PFT, you passed CFT, you did what you need to do. Now you can't get a bad fitness report based off somebody's opinion of you based off of somebody else.
Every fitness report I received that was below the RS average. I even got a guy that's overweight, failed the PFT, and got a higher fit rep than me. I got my degree this year, and I had to fight with him to change that grade from a C to an E.
Are you serious? I thought.
Yeah.
Dude, believe me. Ain't nothing changed in the military. The military always gonna be the military. They always gonna be. We always gonna have to do more just to be average.
Mm-hmm.
So to be above average, we gotta damn near walk on water and fly.
What's his name? Carol. He spoke with me before I even came up here and told me how this place was. He said, "Listen to what I'm saying, but create your own opinion." And I did. And 6 months into it, everything he said that was gonna happen happened. And then on top of that, there's only one black man there that has power. He's the major of MP Company. He used to be a staff sergeant before he switched over to officer, Major Higgins. And he talks to every black Marine that comes to Fort Leonard Wood. And the first question he asks, "Are you one of mine or are you someone else's?" I said, "I heard about you, sir, and I'm someone else's." He said, "Oh Lord, what company?" I said, "MTIC." He's like, "If you ever got any issues, just let me know." And I've talked to him a couple of times. He told me what to do. So now my step is to talk to the Sergeant Major when he get back from Hawaii, which is next week.
Yeah, I would have left Leonard Wood with that unresolved. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
How much time you got left in the Marine Corps? 6
years.
I don't know, man. You got a B billet under your belt. You got the schoolhouse under your belt already. I can't see them not promoting you to the next rank.
We'll find out this year.
Yeah. But again, I just met a gunny that was a 4-time P. And he was a staff sergeant. He got 4 years left. He had been passed over 3 or 4 times. He just got promoted to gunny. White boy.
They are promoting.
So just know that it ain't for us, it's for them. Right. They went in the above zone and pulled him out to promote him over somebody else.
Are you serious?
Because you got to promote so many.
Yeah.
They only had 11 allocations. He couldn't have been the cream of the crop. He couldn't have been the highest of the high.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Jeez. Well, I'm glad y'all doing somewhat good.
What's going on with you, Tr0ubl3s?
Nothing. I leave June 1st, finally.
Where you going?
Army.
Everybody doing that. Okay.
Finally. I'm logistics, 92 Yankee or whatnot. So I leave to Fort Lee, Virginia, June 1st. I have to quarantine out there for 2 weeks. I don't start the schoolhouse until June 15th. Or AIT, sorry. I can't say MOS school.
I got you. We just had 2 of them leave us. They did an inter-service transfer.
See, I tried to do. Well, I ain't tried to. I've seen 2 people in front of me do it. They got denied, so I was like, I'm not even about to risk it.
Yeah, right now they approving them left and right because we doing a drawback now. Or
Yeah,
drawdown.
the Bronco getting small. Yep, they're trying to get small again.
Yeah.
So
Jones, what's going on with you?
ain't nothing. I'm just trying to make it like everybody else.
Cussing out people
Make it
still.
like,
Just
make it
on
like
some good
everybody
stuff.
else.
I just cursing people out.
Same old still.
The
I
Virgo.
ain't get to come down now.
We got Marines down here now, MPs, so you know how that go.
I said I was gonna make a drive because I leave Friday to go to San Diego. It's only 6 hours.
You going to San Diego for?
I gotta go back to recruiter school.
That's right. You do gotta go back. You did say that.
But that's okay. I'm gonna be real close by you. Real close.
Where your RS gonna be?
Jacksonville, I'm going back.
So what station you gonna be out of though?
I don't know. That's the part I don't know. But he asked me, I said, can I go back to Albany? He's like, no, that station already being ran. And I was like, okay, I'll take any Florida station, or you can put me in Savannah. He's like, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, Savannah ain't bad.
As long as I can drive to Albany, I'm good.
Yeah, Savannah ain't bad. That ain't bad.
Are you from Albany?
No, he not from no damn Albany. He from Lowell, Mississippi.
Yeah. So what's so significant about Albany?
That
Brother.
cootie cat? I said that out loud.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, we recording anyway. We already recording.
Man, I love that place, man. It was like I tried to stay in my shell in between Jones, McGee, Williams, a whole bunch of other people. They just, hey, dog, you about to hang out with us. Ain't no being in your house or whatever and just going to work and going home. So it was like, man. And then I joined the motorcycle club out there, and it was like, okay, I like this. There's more opportunities out here than I think.
Oh yeah, Albany has a very, very interesting nostalgia to it, to where I was reflecting. I've been reflecting on Albany for like the past month and a half, and Albany has a lot of gems. And what I mean by that is, for those that are in the hip hop music industry, a lot of artists, or just a lot of shows in general, like comedy, music, things like that, come to Albany, and you can get them for dirt cheap.
Yeah. They gonna have what's that boy? He sing what song he sing at the Sand Trap, and it's either this weekend or next weekend. I think they do that sing Throat Baby. He comes to the Sand Trap.
I still ain't never stepped 1 foot in that club.
I ain't been in the new one. I was in the old one before. I've been in the old one before. I ain't never been in the new one.
I refuse. Feel like I get in trouble.
From my understanding, they were lit.
That's what I heard.
They were lit, from my understanding.
Yeah, it's Sand Trap is that's a different beast.
Well, I'm not in anymore. I was in these streets. The trap was lit.
Yeah, I was in these streets.
The trap was lit. But then, after a while, it's just, that certain community, that crowd, and it's, that's why I like Savoy so much, because it was the complete opposite,
Yeah, they don't got nothing like that down there no more. Let me see. I guess the Grill House will be the closest thing, but the Grill House still be full of little I don't know, man, because they had this spot called the Coves that was
I remember
that closed.
The black on with the sisters.
Yeah, that closed.
Oh.
So of course Savoy closed. So that leaves you with
the Trap,
the grill or the Trap. That's it, really.
Icons.
I ain't going to Icons either though. Icons ain't nothing but a weed spot.
Yeah,
want to smoke weed,
right.
get high.
We wasn't even allowed to go there. What you?
Yeah.
Icons, we were allowed to go there.
Trouble? Oh, you out now? You can go on and say you.
No, we were allowed to go there. No, when I was there, the Trap were off limits. Icons, we were able to go. I knew that because the owner, he was a Marine.
That's probably because Colonel Davis didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, because he damn sure put the Trap on the list quick. He was like, yeah, no more. No more. That's it for that.
Yeah.
And then there was another one, up the street from the Trap, both where the Trap is now, up the street from where Savoy is at, and it's right across from the train tracks. And you know where the Jamaican spot?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
That little...
Now, what you talking about?
That is something you might want to get off limits. put that on it. Do not go. I remember I went in there one time. I said, oh, nah. I was like, let me get my Heineken and do this and dip. I don't want to look too suspicious.
Yeah.
Let me just, enjoy the environment, and then I'm gonna leave gracefully, respectfully. But yeah, Albany does have a lot of gyms. I will say Albany is convenient. The area is convenient, but it's just not a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
The problem with Albany, and it's going to be the problem with Albany till I'm long off this earth, is they don't want to change their way of thinking when it comes to business. They want everything to be owned by locals. And when I say owned by locals, you can rent the spot, but you can never own the building.
Ooh.
So that's why the Cove closed, because she ain't own that spot. She was just renting it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was just renting that spot. And she had the spot beside it. And then right when she got the spot beside it, like 5 months later, COVID hit. So you ain't got no club, you ain't got no money. Of course it's gonna close. How you gonna have a club when you couldn't even have people in the club?
Y'all decided to stay there, or y'all gonna move eventually?
I'm giving this place 4 more years.
Okay.
4 more years, only because right now it's easy.
Yeah.
Understood.
It's work. I mean, and if I get a different job on the base, another promotion, or get a different promotion or something, I might stay longer. But I don't want this to be my last stop. I definitely don't want to be in Albany, because it just ain't. And not that there's anything wrong with it, but I want to go somewhere in between. I either want to go a little bit further north, Savannah, Savannah Way, or somewhere close to Savannah, or go south and just go to Florida and be done.
You get Pooler, Georgia. That area is opening up big time now.
To what?
What is it?
Pooler, Georgia. It's right outside of Savannah. So I guess they're expanding Savannah, because it's only about 15 to 20 minutes from Savannah. So I guess from like a business mind, or, the state's mind, they're like, well, why not open and get more housing in that city? It's very close, because right before that, yeah, Savannah, Pooler, and then I believe you have Paris Island. Well, Beaufort is very close. Yeah. You might have a little city in between, but
it's Bluffton in between Savannah and Paris Island. It's Bluffton. Okay. That's the place with all the it's 2 sides of Bluffton. It's the side that people can afford houses at. Then it's the side that it's another bridge you got to cross. You go over a bridge, and that's where the $1 million homes at. That's where the people that don't look like us live at.
Like Hilton Head?
About a bridge.
Huh? Is that like Hilton Head?
Not Hilton Head, further. It's in North Carolina. It's really expensive though. It's really expensive. A lot of golfers got houses down there. It's one of the places where they build houses and you got to have I don't want to call it a pass, but you got to have something on your car to get to the island. You got to let you on the island. You can't just drive on the island if you want to. You got to. It's another little island out there that they build houses on.
So like a decal.
I might want to say it might be like a pass that open the gate, because you ain't getting in without it. So.
Got it. Hey man,
look at Keyes drinking water, trying to be responsible.
Exactly.
Ain't no alcohol in my house.
In your mama's house?
No, this is my house. I don't have alcohol in it.
Is that by choice?
Yes. Drink responsibly. Look, y'all ain't seen me in a long time. When I left Albany, I weighed 210 pounds. Now I'm at 190. It took a long time to lose that weight. So, hey, I was 5 pounds over my max.
Hey, it be like that sometimes.
Look, I felt like old buddy when Staff Sergeant Jones used to be like, Keyes, all right, you gonna meet me out here this time with so-and-so so we can go run. Yeah, I just got back down to that running speed.
Yeah.
I run like 26s.
Yeah, we used to run, boy. Get up in the morning, meet the daggone perimeter road.
Yep.
That'll be that.
I miss them days. I miss old Staff Sergeant Jones and Corporal of Sergeant Keyes at the time.
Damn. And old Britt.
Yep. I talked to him the other day.
Man.
Had to use him for a rip.
Surprisingly, he doing good. He keep on having babies, but he doing all right.
Yeah. Yeah. He probably gonna get looked at this year too.
Huh?
He probably gonna get looked at this year for gunning.
Amazing. Somebody that didn't even want to stay in the Marine Corps.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Right?
Oh, Britt ain't want to stay in. Britt wasn't about that life. Britt was like, yeah, I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to do my little time and get out.
Yep. But he stayed in though. He a whole staff sergeant now.
Were you the one that like put him on game on how this really work or how he could benefit from it?
No, I just told him the honest to God truth. I was like, look, if you fail this PFT, they gonna write you a bad fit rep, and your ass gonna be out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah. During that time, he was a corporal, and Jones pretty much gave him this, just like this. While you wearing that uniform, you gonna perform. So while you working under me, we about to get you right, and then that's it. And then he had me out there too.
Hey, Keyes would be like, hey man, we just gonna leave back there. I'd be like, man, F Brick. he gonna run. I ain't turning around.
He'd be like, let's go, and we be gone. I remember that.
Man, Britt used to skip when he ran. He ain't run. He used to kind of skip like side to side. He ain't never run. It was funny, but obviously he done enough to get promoted. So
yeah.
That's dope. Shout out to everybody that's getting looked at, getting promoted. I forgot how the system works now, but that's about to achieve the next rank.
What they gonna do for you when you go back in?
I'm sergeant.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sergeant. However, from my understanding thus far, even though I keep my rank, they still haven't put in consideration of like me going to school, all my awards and stuff to that nature. Because you know, I believe it's point based. It's a point-based system for them.
Point-based, yeah.
So, we'll see.
How much school you gonna have left when you get down to Fort Lee? Or are you gonna be done?
I'll be done. So I graduate May 30th and then leave the next day.
That's what's up. That's 2 gifts in one. When your birthday?
August 24th.
That's an early birthday gift.
Man, you act like you got to drive far. You gonna drive from Baltimore to Fort Lee? It's like 4 hours.
Yeah, I know, but they telling me I can't even I can't drive.
You gotta get dropped off.
Yeah, they said
you a student.
Yep. Same thing here. Same thing up there.
I'm like, I can't meet y'all down there, trail the bus, like.
We know bullcrap had a sergeant and a staff sergeant as a student that lat moved into motor T. You talking about them jokers used to get upset because they couldn't drive their car? We had to take their keys from them because they was a freaking student.
I mean, I understand the BS of, you know, the equality being under student status. I'm trying to be gone on the weekends. Like,
nope. You by yourself in a room, and you ain't got to worry about everybody else.
Yeah, especially with COVID going on. They're gonna restrict your movement as much as possible.
Very true. Army is the world's worst.
It is, but I'm just trying to retire at this point, gracefully.
Yeah. Hopefully they send you somewhere nice where you can see something different.
He got options.
Yeah, big options. Yeah. But I mean, we already recording, but I do want to speak on Mr. Jackson. He just passed.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did last Saturday.
Yeah.
That was crazy to me, and it took me a long time to write that post because I was reflecting on it all day, and then I re-listened to the podcast. He was more, of course, you know, as Americans, being a Black American and him being a Montford Point Marine, he was more than that. He was a true entrepreneur. He had so many businesses in Albany. When I re-listened to it, I said, he really lived his life.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just I'm gonna get out, retire, and just work. I got out. I think he got out during the war, went back to high school because that was
he didn't have his diploma. Right.
How stuff was set up. Finished high school, then joined the Air Force, did his time there, came out and had a plethora of businesses out here. And
COVID sucks.
Yeah, man, it's
COVID. I thought it was just
old age for him though.
Yeah,
he was 91, so
we can't be blaming everything on COVID. We gotta be honest with ourselves. You know, I know
they're trying to though. They're trying to blame everything on COVID.
Yeah, but it was a lot. And also reflecting on that is, I'm glad I was able to get his story of how he told it.
Yeah. Mr. Jackson was a player. Let us not forget. What? He was a player. Let us not forget he was a player.
Nah.
Yeah. Big time.
I only talked to him one time.
Hey, man. Let me tell you. That dude was a player. And it was funny because we were sitting there like, my mouth was just gaped open like, really? He was like, hey, man, I was dating her. I was trying to get back to her. I was doing, I was doing what I was doing. I was like, wow, this dude was doing it. But he wasn't.
One time.
He ain't lie about it, and he ain't trying to make it more than what it was. He was like, look, it was his wife at the time. It just was what it was. He was like, I was dating one girl, but that's the one I really wanted. So I just kind of played A against B till I got back to what I wanted. So,
I got options.
Man, he was cool too. He was cool. Cool as a fan.
Very, very cool. So, RP to him, and condolences to his family.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be, especially this year. Death has been. I mean, I ain't looked at Facebook a day since probably about mid-August, but somebody ain't died, like some COVID or whatever. Somebody literally like every day somebody posted something about somebody dying. So I just kind of like, man, it's rough.
Very true.
Yeah. Salute to Mr. Jackson. Your story will be forever told by you and not by anybody else. And that's one thing that I'm learning doing this podcasting is that, we're creating true digital history. It cannot be rewritten. It's him actually speaking. Like, these stories are actually getting spoke about of, okay, yes, you're a Montfort Point Marine, but what did you actually go through during that time? Like, us being where we're at now, yes, we know it was a rough time. However, I want firsthand experiences. And he was able
he put us on like that. He put us on game. He put us on like how hard it really was to be in the Marine Corps at that time. He talked about like the segregation and everything. Like it was just different listening to somebody actually talk about it from their perspective of actually being there, than hearing stories about it at boot camp or hearing about it for that little smidgen during Black History Month where they say, "Oh, Montfort Point Marines," and that's it. But he was actually there, and he said it. Like it was some real. He said one of the things that he remembered most about World War II was the fact that here in this country you couldn't get equality, but you go to Europe and be equal. Over in Europe, you was equal like everybody else. They ain't treat you no different. So that's one of the things. When he came back, he was like, it was real strange coming back here because then you got to go to the back of the bus. You got to go to the white-only restrooms and stuff like that. So, I mean, black-only restrooms and stuff like that. It was real odd for him to come back from Europe. He said a lot of Marines, a lot of soldiers black soldiers had an issue with that. And that's partly what planted the seeds for the civil rights movement without even really doing it, if we think about it. Because if you never leave, you don't know something's wrong until you come back. So he left and he came back and was like, this ain't right. So, somebody finally was like, yeah, this ain't right. And that's what planted the seed.
And it's crazy that you bring that up because he was the one that told the story that Martin Luther King actually came to Albany twice to try to get people rowdied up. And the first time they was like, we don't want to hear that shit.
Right.
Really? Like, long story short, the people in Albany didn't want to hear it. So it took him to come back from my understanding, it took Martin Luther King to come back a second time. And that's when everybody, pretty much rallied together.
But you got to think about this, though. And I think about it when I ride around Albany. I'm 50 years old. 50 years ago, 1970, some of the roads that are major paved roads in Albany was dirt. You got to think about it. So you really think that's 1970. Civil Rights Act had already been passed. Some other stuff had already been passed. But how fair really was it for black folks in 1970 in Albany, Georgia? And if you talk to someone, they still got that mentality, oh, no, I'm just going to leave it to be, and it's going to be all right. They don't want it to change. And, it's sad, but until you get out of Albany, and a lot of them never leave, the furthest they ever go was Atlanta, and they come back. That's all they know. They know Atlanta.
Right, Norcross or Camella for some of them.
Right. They work in the chicken processing plant from the time they get out of high school to the time they die or whatever, and that's all they know. So I don't fault them for some of the ways they think or some of the ways they react to stuff, but when you know better worldwide, when you see it on your TV every night, you got to do better. When you see Black Lives Matter and white people protesting with you to try to change things, then you should kind of raise your hand up and be like, I'm going to do something different too. And a lot of people down here won't do it.
But they're comfortable.
I don't even know if they're comfortable. I think a lot of it is fear. A lot of it is fear.
So.
Ooh, generational fear?
Yes. It's been taught to them. You better respect that white man. You better not You better not lose that good job,
Yeah.
It's fair. So,
Wow.
I mean, I hate to say it that way, but sometimes you can talk to people and see it. Like, you talk about making stuff better, like customer service, for instance. Customer service in Albany sucks. But as soon as you complain about it, they're like, well, you ain't got to eat it. You're absolutely right, I don't. But if I'm going to give you my money, I want my customer service to be as good as it would be in any other big city or any other major city or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah. I mean, it's a small example, but there's a lot of stuff here that could be better. It's just that people are so used to the status quo, they just accept the status quo. So.
Very true indeed. Well, for the people in the podcast world, we got Keyes, Mr. Keyes in the building. For those that have been following us along this journey, we actually had Keyes on before when he was going into recruiting duty.
Yes, what that was like 6 years ago now?
No, that's 3. Exactly 3.
When you was coming off recruiting duty or when you was going to recruiting duty?
Coming off. Oh,
no,
yeah.
We had you on podcast before you went to recruiting school. So 6 years ago.
6 years ago. 6 years
Yeah.
ago. You're right.
I don't know how to count.
Time. Wow.
Yeah. So we had him on then doing that podcast. Now it's crazy because, you have a lot of people that go to recruiting duty, they try to duck it, or when they're on recruiting, they dread it. But he's brave enough to go back. So that's why we got him on today to pick his brain.
Ask him why.
Yeah, the why on this. And, to see what bullshit dreams he's about to be telling these kids nowadays. Because we all know.
Oh, man.
Because we all know you can't, that whole down economy trend ain't it anymore like that. For these new generation of kids.
Can't tell that lie no more.
Yeah. So I guess the biggest question is why you want to go back recruiting? Dark side.
Ooh, why do I want to go back on recruiting duty? Well, first and foremost, make a long story short, I'm Motor T, and Motor T is tearing my body up. That's the main thing. The extended version of this story, when I came in the Marine Corps, I never signed up to be Motor T. I signed up to be admin. Somehow, some way, my contract got changed, and I've been doing this for 13 years. Now I want to do something else. And when I went on recruiting duty, I loved it and actually wanted to stay. But I was advised to go back to the fleet or the school environment where I was at, just left. And they told me to take a break and relax and then come back. And that's what I did.
Yes, you did the same thing. Masson Williams did the same thing, though. He was on recruiting duty, left it, and then went back to the same RS, same city, everything in Chicago. And he did recruiting duty twice. Like I did it one time and was like, yeah, I ain't doing it no more. Not because recruiting duty is extremely hard or because it's something that you can't reach your goal with. It's because depending on the time in history where you're at and where you're at recruiting duty can be miserable. I was recruiting during the middle when the war first started. I was recruiting duty in 2003. No, did I go 2000? No, I went in 2001, and I recruited till 2004. And that's the whole time when the war was like getting ramped up, and kids wasn't trying to hear it. They wasn't trying to hear that because fear is real, And like Chris just said, you can't use the economic downturn as a tool no more because, hell, if a kid got $50 and a little bit of gumption and he can buy some stock, hey, he might not be a millionaire tomorrow, but he'll be all right in a couple of years. Work hard and follow the stock market. I ain't gonna say you're gonna be rich like some of these people got rich in the last couple of weeks, but technology moving so fast now, joining the military is like, it's gonna, for some kids, it's not even gonna be an option. So I'm trying to figure out what you're going to tell these kids, what story you're going to tell them to make them come into the Marine Corps.
I can't answer that question. I don't know. Only thing I know is that as an instructor, obviously the youth, the Generation Z, they still want to join. and they're coming in and they're different. They're different in a way that, in some ways they're good, but in some ways they're bad. And I want to do my due diligence to try to change what is actually coming in, the product that is coming into the Marine Corps. Now, how I'm going to do that, I don't know. I don't know.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Right now, what they're saying is they're doing interviews through VTC. Never had to do that.
I had a question about that too.
What's up?
My question was, do you think recruiting, hold on. Do you think virtual recruiting will ever become a thing? Because I feel as though, I mean, yeah, do you think virtual recruiting ever become a thing?
It's already a thing.
So it's already a thing. So
it's already a thing. From what I'm being told right now, the only reason why they come in the office is to sign paperwork.
Just think about this.
Go to MEPS and come back.
Think about this. If the Marine Corps can keep control of the recruiter and know where they're at, literally like all the time, think about how much extra energy you don't have to worry about them driving. They gotta go nowhere. They can do everything from the office. It's like an office job. The only problem is now, how do you recruit? To cold calls?
We already doing it.
Huh?
Telecommunication. They're still doing AC.
Okay.
What's AC for those that don't? I don't even know what AC means.
Area canvas.
Area canvassing.
Break that down a little bit more.
Like at the mall, at different places.
Social media.
Okay.
They're sending, like they did that when I was out there. Well, I did it. Just send them a message, see if they respond.
Have you got any crazy messages back, like "F you," suck my dick? I ain't going to no military. This is the white man's military type of vibe.
The only time I've ever had an issue that I remember, I was trying to recruit a young lady from Pelham. And when I showed up at the house, I was not welcomed, and somebody else had to go in my place. But I still got the credit.
She was white?
Yes.
I already knew.
He said, I already knew.
As soon as you said you wasn't welcome, I already knew what it was. She was white.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't bringing your black ass in my house.
Yeah.
That's probably what they told you.
They pretty much said I couldn't recruit their child because I wasn't the right color.
Wow.
And that was this 2000. We in 2021. So you talking about 2000?
That happened in 2015.
15.
My first year on the streets.
You talking about 2015? So 6 years ago, you talking about this happening, and people think that we really have come that far. We ain't came that far.
And the crazy part is that this young Marine, this young lady, grew up in that household. And she's joining the armed forces.
You're gonna bring that to the Marine Corps.
Huh?
You're gonna bring that to the Marine Corps. I told these MPs, I said the Marine Corps is nothing more than a microcosm of society. So wherever you grow up at, until you see a different version of where you grew up at, that's all you know.
Yeah.
So with Keyes being from Laurel, Keyes knew Laurel. Me being from DC, I knew DC. You being from Baltimore, you knew Baltimore. You join the Marine Corps, you start meeting people from Cali and other places, and you're like, okay, the world is bigger than my backyard. The problem is, when people go home on their 96s or their 72s or they leave, they going back to what's comfortable for them back in Pelham or, Smallville, USA, where it's only one stop sign, not a stop light, and ain't nobody there that don't look like them. But then they come back to the Marine Corps. So, he done muted us because he's on the phone. He got a whole phone call conversation going on.
All I can say is it was just crazy just being out there.
You recruited in an area, and I know you got a lot of windshield time because the schools ain't close together unless you in Albany. Albany got all the schools that's real close together, but once you get outside of Albany, the schools space far apart.
Yep.
So
early county.
You spent a lot of time driving and reflecting on what people say to you, and the one thing that they don't teach you at recruiter school is how to react to what people say to you when they disrespectful.
Right.
You know, the recruiting school teach you how to get a kid to believe that these benefit tags going to benefit them some kind of way further in their future. But it don't teach you how to deal with disrespectful parents or, you know, schools that don't really want you in them and stuff like that. You got to kind of, they call it overcoming obstacles. You got to overcome that obstacle. You got to sell yourself better than that. And it's like, they don't always work.
Is it a way to implement that training within the military for stuff like that, especially like racial issues of a parent being like, oh, my son or daughter will be a Marine. However, your black ass ain't going to be their recruiter.
I don't think you can implement that because every place is different and everybody has not experienced that type of hardship on their duty. The one thing that I saw and they overcame it, I don't know if y'all ever met him, but his name was Staff Sergeant Cristostomo. We call him Staff Sergeant Chris. In Albany, you put a Filipino Marine that he can speak English, but he had some trouble sometimes for certain words, things of that nature. But that young man overcame his obstacle. If you ain't got in his first year, he was getting frustrated. He was frustrated and he didn't want to be there. They trying to figure out why did they put him there when he could have went to somewhere else. I don't know.
Why?
LA,
Yeah.
Hawaii, New York, Miami, anywhere else.
But they put him in Albany.
It's almost like the Marine Corps wants you to fail.
Sometimes. I feel like that sometimes.
I think sometimes they want him, hey, because what they call recruiting duty. It's the only independent duty where your tour starts over at the beginning of every month.
Very true.
Mm.
And I love that part.
It ain't DI duty. It ain't MSG duty. At the beginning of on the 30th or the 31st of the month, that tour ends. On the 1st, it starts again. Mm-hmm. And you either gonna cut the mustard or you not.
What have you done for me lately?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a real. It was literally. They would ask that question on the 15th of the month. If you didn't have somebody in or working on putting somebody in, you was in trouble.
Mm.
Yeah, recruiting duty is the kind of pressure that would break people that ain't strong. If you ain't strong, you can't make it on recruiting duty. There's a lot of pressure.
Do you like the high tempo keys?
I do. Right now, well, as an instructor, I don't like it. I even told my company commander, it's too easy here. I don't like it. I like the high tempo. I like the drive that I had as a recruiter. The stress level that I had. I live off stress. In Fort Leonard Wood, it was so relaxed. I have to find extra things to do. I had to get my tasks and just build them up so I would have a stress level that I needed to complete whatever needed to be done. On recruiting duty, it was like, okay, you need me to go find this person? Got you. I'm gone. Go do my thing. Come back. I got him. And yeah, I'm the hero for that month or whatever the case may be. But that's like Jones said, as soon as it's over, the next month, you back at zero again.
Yep.
So do you think that is the disconnect with you and being in the fleet, is that it's not as stressful? The fleet isn't as stressful? Because one could say, why don't you just go to, I mean, I don't know where y'all could get stationed at as far as motor T. So the schoolhouse, yeah, that's easy. Well, not easy, but it's less stress. However, maybe another duty station to where you're dealing with Marines drinking and driving and all that stuff. So do you think it's a disconnect with you in the fleet?
It is a disconnect because I only have that level of stress in the fleet when I'm deployed, and that's only happened twice.
Mm.
You gotta remember when you especially with the way the Marine Corps going now, if you pay attention to any of the news, they going back to the way the Marine Corps was in the 80s, where you got your deployable units and your non-deployable units, and all the money going to the deployable units. If you ain't deploying, you just a regular old pogue Marine, and that's that. So if you don't get assigned to a victory unit, you ain't got nothing going for yourself. You just in the Marine Corps.
Yeah. So maybe y'all could break this down for me. So I was doing research. The Marine Corps is, I want to say, like at 190-ish, give or take-ish, or like a low 190, maybe 180-ish right now. And they're trying to go down to 172.
That's correct.
So how does...
They're trying to go back to where they was at when I first came in. When I first came in, the Marine Corps was at 172.
Yeah. So how does that work with... Because I feel as though we have more careers now. Is that true? People that's wanting to stay in longer?
You do. But a lot of those careerists are E5s. And they all got an MOL message, either saying they was, congratulations, you staying in, or
congratulations, you getting out.
Yep.
Oh,
my condolences, you will be getting out.
A lot of staff sergeants too.
Yep.
So with you going back on recruiting duty with them dwindling down, does that mean that you will have lower numbers?
That is a possibility, but you got to think about this. Everybody that's getting out, we are replacing them. Once we get to that number, maybe the numbers will be a little steady, but right now the numbers, I believe they're still high, at least a mission of 8 per month.
I'm gonna explain to you like this. Okay, so Keyes goes back to recruiting duty. Keyes, let's say he's going to recruit school. When you got to be in recruit school, Keyes? What day?
March 1st.
So you gonna get out of recruiter school in the middle of April, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you gonna hit the streets sometime shortly thereafter. You taking leave, or you gonna do what you gonna do?
Take leave, 30 days.
You gonna take 30 leave. So you gonna hit the streets in the middle of May. Are they gonna put you on your 9 months, or they gonna treat you like a regular recruiter?
I don't know.
Okay, so normally when you go on recruiting duty, they give you 9 months to like get embedded in your area, learn the schools, and start making contacts. You can't just walk out there on the first day and recruit somebody. It's almost impossible because people don't trust you. They don't know you. So anyway, Keyes goes recruiting duty. So let's say middle of May. If they don't put him on his 9 months because he's been out there before on the streets, he starts recruiting middle of May. Writes his first contract somewhere to middle of June, maybe July. That contract goes to boot camp. He writes another contract. He writes 4 contracts before October, 4 or 5 contracts before October. One of those contracts don't make it through boot camp. Guess how many contracts Keyes got to write the next month just to make up for that one guy that didn't make it through boot camp? Now he got to write 2 contracts to make up for one person. Because the Marine Corps already know before you even send people to boot camp that about 50%, roughly about 45, 50% of them people ain't gonna make it past 2 years. They're gonna get hurt, they're gonna get kicked out, they're gonna go, you ate it, it's gonna be something that's gonna happen, they're gonna get out. So the Marine Corps already knows it. And they know this in advance. The Army knows it, the Navy knows it, the Air Force knows it.
Oh, so they just recruit high because of that buffer.
You have to.
Margin of failure, I guess.
It's not even a margin of failure. You got to remember, there's some people that's not going to adjust to military life. Some people are not going to, you're not going to, you've been in your mama's house for 18 years. Now all of a sudden somebody telling you got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, make your bed, they're yelling at you all the time, and you got to eat food from child hall, you got to march everywhere, carry a rifle, do all this other stuff. You might make it through boot camp. You might even make it through MCT and MOS school. Then you get to the fleet, and this is your first taste of real freedom since high school. And now all of a sudden you lose your mind because you got a little paycheck coming in, and you forget that you got a job to do every day, which is go to work as a Marine. You get in trouble a couple of times, and the Marine will kick you out. So they recruit at a high level to make sure that they can maintain numbers. If they just recruited what they needed every year, the Marine Corps would fall like the one, I would venture to say, right around 150.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention that they're already getting their first taste of freedom in MOS school now.
Yep.
Not in the fleet. Because now there is no curfew when they got to be in their room. We got Marines now at Fort Leonard Wood where they can stay up all night if they want to. And they got to come to class the next day and drive. They do not have a curfew anymore.
That's different.
Very different.
That'll change when people start wrecking vehicles and people start dying. Yeah, as soon as they do the investigation, they'll change all of that.
Surprisingly, we have not had an issue.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, let's wait till Keyes leave. Well, you're already gone, so let's wait till Keyes leave out of there. Then we're like, all right, it is what it is. But under his regime, nothing. Sweet sail.
I've been very lucky.
Man, in my eyes, from looking at it from getting retired and out of the military, you already have had a successful career. You've done a B-billet, you've been to the schoolhouse. It's Marines in your MOS right now that will never do neither one of those two things. And they'll still pick up rank, and they'll still pick up gunny, and they'll still pick up mass on. And you'll be like, how the hell? Because I'm telling you, the Marine Corps, as much as it's supposed to be even and fair for everybody, it's not.
Very true.
And you got how many deployments under your belt, too?
Just 2.
You got 2 deployments, a B-billet, and you talk to the schoolhouse.
Yeah, you can't just say just 2.
But you leaps and bounds above a lot of people that's in the Marine Corps right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just can't say 2 because even right before I got out, you know, I call them my privileged peers who were not same rank as me, but as soon as we get in these damn Charlies, I'm looking like Smelly Butler like this. And they got little heads.
Yeah, they got one row.
Yeah, they got one row, if that. And I'm like, geez, like, oh my gosh, man.
They got national defense and a good conduct.
And a NAM these days.
Yeah, NAM is like candy, like.
But you gotta think about how the Marine Corps does not give out medals. They don't give you nothing. I don't know what you gotta do, but they don't give you nothing. The Marine Corps is like the Army will give you a Bronze Star for breathing, but the Marine Corps is not about that life at all. You know, they're not about that life at all. So
out of 5 people voting, there's always gonna be one hater that's gonna say, nope, he don't deserve it.
Yep. I didn't get one when I should have got one.
Yeah. It took me, a year and a half just to get my volunteer ribbon?
At least you got it. I guarantee you got it in Albany.
Yeah.
Yep. Somebody too, I can't remember that captain's name, but he worked in the S1. He voted against me not getting it.
Was he Asian descent?
Yes.
I know you talking about. He jacked up my fit rep and then he got out.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Should I say his name? I mean, he out.
No.
But yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. But, so do you see? So when you go back, right? Are you considered 8412, which is a career recruiter?
No. So what's going to happen? I've already accepted the fact that I might just have to be a regular recruiter at first, but I will recruit for a little while. Then I have to run a station successfully for a minimum of 6 months. Within that 6-month time period, I have to make mission, make shipping, and pass an SRI, which is a recruiting inspection. And if I am deemed worthy by the 8412 community that is within my RS, I will earn that MOS. And if I'm not already promoted to gunnery sergeant by that time, I will get promoted on the next board automatically.
So you come back to recruiting on entry level, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Gee, so you can't be what they call it, A/?
No. Well, you talking about an A gunner?
Yeah, A gunner. I don't know where I'm at.
They can't. I mean, it's a possibility that can happen. But the only way that I will jump into a boss spot is if there is a spot available.
The difference between Keyes and every other recruiter that he's gonna be going back to, other than the 8412s, is he already gonna have a ribbon, and they gonna know it when they see him. They gonna be like, "Oh shit, he already got a ribbon." That's what everybody's trying to get. They're trying to get a ribbon.
Yeah.
They gonna see that he got one and be like, "Okay, well, obviously he hasn't done this before, so he know what he's doing because he's successful." He gonna blow it out the water again. He gonna knock it out the park.
Yeah.
All those little cliches. I ain't got nothing but faith in support. If Keyes called me and was like, "Hey, dog, I need you to drive the Cadillac with me. I'll fly you back to Albany." I'll be like, "All right, then. It's a bet. I'll take time off. I'll take the ride because that's my boy." Keyes ain't never done nothing since he left Albany but shine.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people that leave Albany and they don't do, but Keyes ain't done nothing but shine.
So you gonna stay there for the rest of your career on out? Because you got 6, right?
I got 6 years left, so I'm going to stay there until I retire, unless there's a spot available for me to maybe go teach at the schoolhouse if I become an 8412. I have 2 years to do it. So that's another thing. As a second tourist, I don't stay for 3 years. I only stay for 2.
Oh, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's dope as hell. Yeah. Get that out of your system. So
that's dope.
hope you get a station or get somewhere where you can actually recruit, because there's nothing worse than sending you to a failing station or sending you to a and you know they'll do it. Send you someplace that's failing and expect you to save them. You know.
I feel like there's nothing worse than what I have been through in Albany, Georgia. Yes, but Albany is a good station.
When you got there, they were failing?
They were. I went through 4 bosses.
Gee, what's the normal number on that? I don't understand it. So
my first boss,
1.
her time was up. The second boss, his time was up, but he got fired before he could even finish his time. They just let him do whatever until his time was up, which was like maybe 30 to 60 days left.
mm-hmm.
He wanted to be a 12, but only because he was an 03 and didn't want to go back to the 03 community. But he wasn't playing a role. He would go to the gym and tell us not to leave. He'll leave like around 8 o'clock at night and come back at like 10:30, and we ready to go. Me personally, I'm not calling nobody's house after 8 o'clock. That's rude.
Nope.
That's how I was brought up.
No.
So he left. Then the third boss came. His time was up. He thought he wanted to be a 12, but he changed his mind. And then my last boss, he was actually Motor T, and he knew he wanted to be a 12, and now he's a gunner sergeant. He came in 2 years after me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's ways to do it if you do it right, but you're always gonna have a couple of people on recruit duty that's really just there to do their time and get back to the fleet. So,
yeah,
I think being a boss, it's all about how do you manage your time and your Marines. How do you get them to work for you?
Yeah.
And through all these leadership books that I'm reading, yes, I can answer your question. Some of those things are going to that I've learned through those books are going to help me lead my team. You got your Start With Why book by Simon Sinek, and It Worked for Me in Real Life and Leadership by General Colin Powell. Both of those books alone helped me in writing this little notebook on what I could do to help motivate my team, inspire my team to work and go out there and hunt. Because the whole time you're out there, you're a freaking wolf. Are you gonna starve or are you gonna eat? Which one are you gonna do? And you got to work together as a team to eat.
Yeah, because if you got one person in your team that's a superstar and everybody else starving, it ain't gonna look good. Exactly. You got one recruiter that's writing 3 contracts and everybody else writing 0s, it ain't gonna look good. You got to figure out a way to make all your recruiters. If you got 3 recruiters or 5 recruiters or whatever you got, all of them gotta like balance your ship. What you gonna think? And
I mean, being a boss into that magnitude, other than the easiest way to make sure your shop is good or your station is good is be like, hey, Jones, give Keyes one of your people. However, in the long term, it really doesn't help, because if Jones,
if you are that kind of leader, unless your station had already made mission.
We got some people like that out here, though, you know?
Now, listen to me. If your station had made mission, if you was on a mission for 8 and you know you got one more in the bag just to make yourself look good, and that you got one recruiter that's on the donut, that makes sense. But if your station's struggling, you don't give nobody, hey, sorry, boss, you're going to roll a donut this month. You're on the 0. You're going to go to you go on the AM1 training on the second or the first of the month or the second of the month, and they're going to talk to you about how you can be a better recruiter. It can't be, give him a bone because I want him to feel like he's succeeding, because he got to put the work in too. Because if you start giving a bone too soon to a person that ain't really working, it's just like a kid. If you let a kid get away with something long enough, they're gonna keep on doing it. Same thing with a recruiter. If you let them get away with not doing no work, they ain't gonna do no work.
Yeah.
But you got to make them. You got to force them to go out there and write contracts for themselves. Am I misspeaking, Keyes?
You are not.
When it comes to recruiting, do you think it's a disconnect with the recruiters and maps? Because I've been through this, so that's why I'm asking.
That's because you went from the Marine Corps to the Army.
Do I think that there's a disconnect between the recruiter and MEPS?
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a disconnect, but I feel like MEPS takes their job more seriously than the recruiter themselves.
Which shouldn't both parties take their job seriously, you know?
They should.
Yeah.
But with MEPS, there's some background stuff that goes on in there that if you let the wrong person in, they can become liable. And MEPS is not willing to put their career at risk just because that recruiter messed up. Some slip through.
Your MEPS liaison is the person that does the final check to make sure that person that you about to send to boot camp can go to boot camp. And if they miss it, and that guy gets to boot camp, and then in the moment of truth, he decides that, oh yeah, I want to tell that everybody told me not to say nothing about the cocaine in my system or the drugs in my system or this or that or the third or whatever he did, the attempted murder charge I got that don't nobody know about, all of this, it could come back to bite everybody in the ass. Then everybody looks stupid.
It's so serious. You get screened by MEPS twice.
Yep.
You get screened as a recruiter. You're screening your applicants continuously, but that's the part where recruiters mess up, and that's where I had to learn my very first year.
Drop some keys.
You gotta continue to screen them, because at any point in time they could be disqualified, and then you gotta let them go. But does that recruiter have that much integrity to do so? Because
the key here, that the word that you probably missed, and you don't even understand it, you're not screening to qualify, you're screening to disqualify. You're trying to make sure that person never makes it to MEPS if they're disqualified. Why waste time with somebody that can't go to boot camp?
Screen to disqualify. That's my thinking of life.
Hey, you got one of the simplest questions you can ask somebody. You got an egg allergy. And as soon as they say yes, you be like, all right now, you know what? Thank you for your time. I'm not gonna be able to do nothing with you. You know why? Most of the vaccines you take at boot camp got some portion of egg in it to preserve it.
Oh shit!
You can't go to boot camp.
I didn't know that.
Yep. You can't have an egg allergy.
Oh wow, MEPS was.
You can't be a bedwetter. You can't. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can't do.
I was about to curse.
Yeah. There's still grown people that's 18 and 19 years old that piss in the bed. Yes.
Damn.
You can't be a sleepwalker. Can't be allergic to nuts of any kind. It's a whole bunch of stuff. The list is that joke alone.
It was crazy, I guess, for me right now, like going through the process again, even though I went through the rodeo before, and I'm like, just get me through. I don't care. However, I'm listening to other kids, like they're getting sent home because they had too much wax in their ear. They had to go back to the doctors, get a doctor's note, and come back the next day. Like kids are missing school. The actual day that I went to go pick my job is mission day. It's so crazy on the floor. they had, yeah. So the Army first sergeant of recruiting, however, it works, he in there like helping out. And I had to, do some stuff on the computer. And one kid wound up snitching on himself about how many times that he drinks alcohol. Doctor disqualified him. First song was pissed.
It happens.
I said, damn, dog. I was like, damn, first song. Mission day, huh?
It's either going to happen at MEPS or it's going to happen at Paris Island for us or whatever Army base they would go to for them. Yep. The kid's going to get to the moment of truth at Paris Island, and he's going to tell them something that he didn't tell his recruiter, and he didn't tell the MEPS liaison. So everybody got egg when they face, but it's like the kid. Now, if they get down there and be like, my recruiter told me not to tell you this, then the recruiter's he's done. It's a wrap.
Oh, for real? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be in trouble.
I put it to you like this. The butt pucker effect on recruiting duty, because you heard it in combat, but on recruiting duty is when your government phone rings and you say, heck, Marine, Staff Sergeant Keyes. How you doing, Staff Sergeant Keyes? This is Master Sergeant so-and-so at MEPS. How you doing, Master Sergeant? Can you hear me real good? Yes, Master Sergeant. All right, Staff Sergeant Keyes, you have the right to remain silent. Anything the whole nine, blah, 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 blah. You are under oath. They are recording the conversation. So-and-so said that you said this, and you go from there.
Are you serious?
Yep.
But luckily for me, my entire 36 months, I was the only one in my recruiting office that never got investigated on. I never had my rights read to me, ever.
But others around you have.
Every last one of those recruiters, including the boss.
Why do you think... Why do you think why was it the lack of integrity?
It ain't a lack of integrity, it's pressure.
Yeah.
When you
integrity versus pressure?
Yes. When you got somebody telling you that if you don't do these things and make sure that your station is successful so that the major or whoever it is can be successful for the RS, They telling you that if you don't do these things to make sure that I'm successful, because don't nobody care about mission. They care about shipping. And we miss shipping, we miss mission completely.
Shipping is to clarify.
Shipping is it. If you miss shipping, you miss mission.
No, I'm saying clarify shipping. What does shipping?
Sending a person to recruit training.
Oh, okay.
Which they got to make it
every month. They got a number.
that second time.
You're right. That's when you go to MEPS. You know how you go to MEPS the first time and swear in, and then you go back a couple of months later, and then you go to boot camp the same night.
Okay.
That's shipping. That's shipping.
Oh, I didn't swear in.
So you gonna swear in again?
Yeah, I did. Maybe because of I didn't swear in.
Army's different.
Okay.
Well, I know in the Marine Corps, you go once for your physical and everything. They send you home and be like, all right, this is your ship date. On your ship date, you swear in again to make sure that you know what you're doing. You sign that contract, and they put you on a bus or plane or whatever to Paris Island, and that's shipping. When you miss shipping in the Marine Corps, if that RS misses shipping, they miss mission for that month. Yeah.
Yep. And the district CO calling.
Yep.
And shit rolls down here.
Fast. So when you get that call at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night on the 30th, and you be in the office tomorrow morning at 07. Not 7:30, not 8 o'clock, not 9 o'clock, because you made mission. Because when you make mission, life is gravy. It's easy. Don't nobody bother you. You can pretty much do what you want. It's easy. But when you miss mission, boy, that pressure come out of nowhere. It's incredible.
I seen it in my recruiter's face. I was like, oh, it's mission day.
I'll tell you right now, my last boss, who's the 8412 now, was the best one I had. Even though we went through some trials, I'm talking about working at least 6 days out of the week. But even on Sunday, we'll get up early to go meet up at Eggs Up Grill just to come up with a game plan to figure out what we're going to do for the rest of the week.
I want my stuff like that. As long as the boss is in the trenches with me.
The problem is
you need a break.
Oh, yeah, at a certain point, yeah.
I put it to you like this. When I was on recruiting, they gave back 30 days of leave. Just lost it.
Yeah.
Damn.
I lost 30 days of leave. It just poof, gone. Because that's what you can only carry 60. And I was at 90. They just took 30 days away, and it was just gone. And you know what saved me? You know what saved me the next year?
But
the RI. The RI was like, man, you gave away 30 days last year. You ain't doing that again this year. He's like, whether you recruit good or not, you taking leave because you need a break. You got to take a break from this place or it'll drive you crazy. I had worked literally like a year and a half straight without no leave. So
you said it looked bad on the CO keys?
It does. If you got Marines that's not taking leave, it looks bad.
Yeah. Yo, that's crazy, dog. That is very crazy. So I guess I want to get down to this with the Marine Corps dwindling down numbers, right? And they want to recruit the best of the best. How do you convince the best of the best when normally your niche audience is those in a economic downturn, and your best of the best, they on TikTok learning how to do stocks and option trading and doing their own business? It's like, why would I need you?
In the past,
in this entrepreneurship world, generation.
In the past, I have never put pressure on anybody. As a recruiter, I do not want to look desperate. I don't care how bad or how close I am to the line where I need to make mission. I never put pressure on an applicant, ever. With that being said, hey, I give them what they need to know. If they decide to do it, they decide to do it. If they don't, I shake their hand and walk away. Somehow, some way, that has always came back to me. Or they'll be like, well, the Army dude, he was just pressuring me, trying to make me sign these papers, blah, blah, blah. But with you, it was like, you told me everything, and I felt comfortable with you. Maybe that'll work this time. I don't know. I don't know what that world is like right now. Can't speak on it.
What do you think it would be, Jones?
Okay, so you asked the question of how do you get these kids to come into the Marine Corps when in this current economic upturn, or economy's not doing bad, or whatever the case may be. The thing about this,
and they want the Marine Corps want the best of the best.
Right, they do. But the thing with the Marine Corps, the Army, the Air Force, and Navy is this: some people just want to serve, and you ain't got to convince them to serve. Some people just want to be in the military, and you ain't got to convince them. Now they're gonna pick the branch they want based off of family history or tradition or whatever it is, or they just like me. I always wanted to be a Marine. So when I decided finally to make that decision to be a Marine, I just went in the Marine Corps. Now I talked to the Army recruiter, but the Army recruiter stood me up. and anybody that know me know how I am about time. If you know me long enough, you know how I am about time. You know if I say 8 o'clock, I mean like 7:45. So I don't mean 8 o'clock, I mean 7:45. So anyway, he stood me up. But you got to think about this when you say, how do you get people to come into the Marine Corps? How do you convince a college student that has everything going for them and about to get a college degree to be an officer in the Marine Corps? You don't got to convince them. They want to do it. Same thing with a person that comes to
right?
Think about it. A college freshman or a college sophomore that takes the summer off to go to OCS, and then when they graduate, got to go to TBS for 6 months. They want to do it. They don't want to not do it, because if they didn't want to do it, they wouldn't do it. Because remember, in order to join the Marine Corps, I don't know if they changed the AFQT from 31 up to 44 yet. They talk about changing it to raise the score up a little bit higher. But to be an officer in the Marine Corps, you got to score 74 when your ass bad out the gate. So you're not stupid. You got an opportunity to go get a real job in a real world. The difference is this: everybody think that they're gonna go to college and get out of college and make $100,000 a year. That ain't how it works. The average college student making like $15 an hour if they making that much.
Yeah.
And they're not even working in the field that they went to school for. So is it beneficial to talk to them and say, hey, you know what? Take these 4 years, do something different. At the end of it, and believe me, 4 years is a drop in the pan. It go by so quick you wouldn't. It's over with before you blink. I mean, you think about it, the first year is all training, boot camp, MCT, MOS school, depending on what your MOS is. You already 7-8 months in. Your first year done.
Yeah.
Then you got 3 years in the fleet. So it's not like you got to convince these people that want to join. In the back of their mind, they already want to do it. All you're doing is showing them the benefit of doing it. So that's where them benefit tags come into the play. Traveling, adventure, financial security, education, all that stuff. You just showing them how they can reach those goals. And Keyes, you was recruited by a recruiter 14 years ago, and he showed you the benefit tags, and how much of that stuff that he showed you on the benefit tags and came true now?
Some of them have.
Education.
Got it.
Traveling, adventure.
I got it.
Financial security.
And confidence and poise and everything else.
Exactly. So it works. It's just that when you got a 17-year-old sitting in front of you or 18-year-old sitting in front of you, they don't believe it's going to work. They don't understand because their parents have never talked to them about traveling and adventure outside of their local community, or financial security, or confidence, or physical fitness, or any of those things that's on those tags. Nobody ever talked to them about that unless they played football, baseball, hockey, or something like that, or ran track. The kids don't know nothing about being in shape. All they know is the internet, eating junk food, and hanging with their friends. That's it.
And look how the Marine Corps is forming now. Back when I came in, you can recruit somebody that had like a 31 or higher. Do you know we got Marines and I don't like to downplay my MOS because everybody got its purpose. We got students that have 80s on ASVAB that are motor T.
And it's just because of the desire of driving for them.
No, the Marine Corps is changing. They want the smartest, the brightest, and the fittest. And we are taking them. Where other branches of service are failing, they're just giving them tangible things that they can have. And I'm surprised to this day that no other branch of service has adopted our way of recruiting, because I believe if they got the information and they used it, between the Army and the Air Force, they'll kick our butt. But the Army ain't made mission in 3 years.
Wait till I start recruiting.
You won't learn it though. That's the problem. You won't learn it. It's harder for you. They get their mission for the year. They got to recruit 1,000 soldiers a year, and they can't even do that. And I'm just exaggerating on that number. It's a larger number than that. But we make that number every year by the means of, if that RS recruited that number, or another RS from another station, another district, freaking gave up their applicants or their poolies to make sure that we made mission. we work together as a team. Now that RS that didn't make mission, they look shitty, but you will never be able to say that the Marine Corps has never made its recruiting mission.
I'll put it to you like this, and I got the coin somewhere in this. It's in my house somewhere right now. When I was on recruiting duty, 100 months. 100 months we made mission.
Damn.
They gave us a coin for it.
Mm-hmm. Now they're giving out Super Bowl rings.
Ain't no damn
RS
Super Bowl
Houston,
ring, motherfucker.
RS Houston, Texas, giving Super Bowl rings.
That's how valuable recruiting is to the Marine Corps.
I heard Texas different when it comes to recruiting.
You got to think.
That's a patriotic state. That's a patriotic state.
Texas, everybody joined the Marine Corps or the Army or the Air Force or the Navy. Everybody joined something in Texas.
They come out of the womb watching Sands of Iwo Jima, starring John Wayne.
Right. Watching Heartbreak Ridge with
Clint Eastwood. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, but what Keyes just said is this: the reason why the Marine Corps isn't, and it's part of it is fear of failure, because you don't want to fail. You never want to fail anybody. But the other part of it is, as a team, the same way we fight in combat is the same way we recruit. Everybody got to do their part, and no one person is more important than another person. So if you a big station with 5 recruiters and you're on a mission for 12 and you get your 12, congratulations. But we got a small station over here with 3 recruiters on a mission for 7, and they only got 4. We got a problem. We need somebody. We need some help. We need somebody to show them the way. And maybe it's just a matter of breaking somebody that's not used to talking to people out of their shell. Some people ain't meant to be recruiters. Recruiter school forces you to be uncomfortable. Yep. That 5-minute speech, that first one you give, the speech when you got to get angry and then calm back down, then you know 10.5-minute speech or whatever it is, they force you to talk to people, talk to your classmates. And these people you see every day for a month and a half, and you're nervous in front of them. And they other Marines. So imagine talking to a high school student that ain't trying to hear none of this shit you saying. You got to come outside of yourself to ensure that you're successful. Because if you don't, the Marine Corps will crush you. The pressure will crush you.
Yeah.
They'll crush you like a grape. They don't care.
Yeah, and like we discussed it earlier, I wanted to go back to this line I seen on social media. Basically, when we discussed about, we screened it, well, y'all screen, or the military screens to disqualify. So for the listeners or the viewers, it's basically saying if you got something jacked up, we bring it to the forefront, and get it out the way now, because I seen a line on Facebook or Twitter, something saying that, going into the military is like the last resort for some people. However, going into the military is harder than going to college. I could apply to so many different colleges. I only have 4 branches of service?
Yeah, and the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
They don't count.
I'm sorry.
They don't count.
Mr. Space Force. I don't know what the Space Force do, but yeah, the Space Force, you can't forget about them.
Yeah, so honestly, depending on what's going on with you in life, if you have some type of eye problem or brain problem, you're disqualified for all branches. Point blank period. Yeah, or back problem. Yeah.
Where you live at, Chris, how many colleges in Baltimore? I mean, just off the top of your head, you got UMUC,
Shit.
Towson, what else? That's 2 of them that I can
Morgan.
Hold
on. Let's look.
It got to be at least. I'm talking about where you at. It's at least 3. We're close to you. How about the whole state of Maryland?
Yeah,
I'm right up there about where you at.
Yeah, I got you. How many colleges in Baltimore City? Damn, you got Hopkins, Baltimore City Community College, Morgan State, Maryland Institute College, Goucher. We got a handful. Let's just put it like that.
Right.
We got more than 4.
Okay, and that's close to where you at.
Yeah.
So think about how many colleges in Maryland, period, and then think about how many branches of the military there are. 6. You got to count the Coast Guard as a branch of the military because during the time of war it falls under the Department of Defense. So 6. The Space Force, like I said, I don't know what they do, but you got to count them because they made them up, so they here now. Compared to, I don't know, in the average state, it got to be at least 50 colleges. From Division 1 all the way down to Division 3 and community colleges, at least 50 in the average state. So like you said, your chances of going to college are 10 times better or 20 times better than they are joining the military.
That's crazy, man.
The difference is this: most people can't afford to go to college.
Very true.
That's why they
Yeah.
don't go. Because Keys, how much money you spent on school since you've been in the military?
Since I've been in the military?
Since you've been in the military, how much money have you spent on school? I'm talking about like you came out of your pocket with.
Oh, none.
Yeah, exactly. I got my degree and I ain't never spent a dime.
And I'm still getting this extra $750 that hit my account every time I finish a class.
Oh.
FAFSA, man.
Oh.
You gotta have kids. You gotta have kids.
Yep.
Nah,
Gotta have
yeah, I
kids.
still pull out, so yeah.
Yep.
Oh man.
So it's
Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
man.
Keys. Go ahead.
I'll tell you this too. In my own opinion, I feel like the military is simpler. It's changing in a way that's adapting to the mindset of the new generation of individuals that are coming in today. Like, for example, when I came in, we was always talking about using a compass. They showed us how to use a compass. Now they got technology where they actually using GPSs, and that's a whole lot easier than using a compass. And it's like, dang, I don't even remember the last time I touched the radio. That's how long it's been. They ain't been to war in a little while too. That's another thing. A lot of people are relaxed.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to these kids and I was like, you don't have no, the only way you're gonna get promoted now, high PFT, high CFT, expert rifle, expert pistol if you're an MP, and good pros and cons going away. So whatever they're gonna give you next.
Oh, for real?
I actually saw the new program for that.
Yeah, pros and cons going away. So
I was a big advocate for that. I felt as though they needed to do something similar to the Navy. Is basically
when you test to get promoted.
No, it was we'll just call it a dumbed down version of a fit rap.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done?
The problem with that is it's coming. But the problem with that is this: how many Lance Corporals really do anything
today?
How many PFCs really do anything besides be a PFC?
Yeah, but now it's a requirement that you got to complete before you can even put on that E3.
Yeah. And you got to go to the Lance Corporal Seminar, Corporal's course, and Sergeant's course, and Staff Academy, and Advanced course.
See, I'm glad I skipped Corporal's course, Lance Corporal Seminar when I was coming through. It was kind of a joke. You didn't hear about it in a lot of duty stations. Like the first time I heard about it was I was deployed to Afghanistan, and some girl, she went through it in Yuma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was the only time I heard about it. But yeah,
and get this, PME schools are going away.
Say that again.
PME schools are going away. They're all going to be on the seminar.
Yeah.
That brand new school that they just built on Camp Johnson, they've already donated it to I forgot who they donated that building to. I forgot. But they're not using it for sergeant's course, career course, advanced course, none of that.
Damn.
It's all online. And I got my first taste of it as a staff sergeant a couple years ago. I did the whole 15 weeks online.
Damn.
Self-paced or you with?
Oh no. These retired sergeant majors, they're becoming seminar instructors and they don't cut no corners.
Oh God.
They do not cut corners.
It is what it is. I guess
I'm
we're part of
saying
that.
about doing stuff online. It's good in some instances, especially like with COVID going on right now. You want to keep people socially distanced and stuff like that. But that time that you get to go to those advanced courses, those staff academies and whatever else it is, that's an opportunity for you to cross mix with other MOSs.
Very true.
Because I would never meet anybody in another MOS if I'm doing everything online. What do I need to know anything about motor C4 or grunts or air wing or anything or recon? I had a guy when I was in Hawaii, the SARS course, and I cannot remember that dude's name, but he was recon. And he was an asshole when I first met him, but by the time we finished him 8 weeks, that was the coolest dude I had ever met. Mm-hmm. He was cool as a thing.
Yeah.
We was so competitive when it came to the Marine Corps period that's what drove us. We was competitive. It was me, him, and one other sergeant that was really, really competitive. And like he was like, I'm gonna beat you on a PFT. I was like, dude, you could try and try again, but you ain't beat me on that 3 mile run. And he did not beat me on the 3 mile run. But you might get me on pull-ups, you might get me on crunches or whatever, but you ain't get me on that 3 mile run. And I made sure I didn't let him beat me on that run. So you get to meet people, and sometimes they remain lifelong friends, and sometimes they don't. When you're doing everything online, what are you really getting from it?
And plus you get to learn like different leadership styles. And I learned like simple things, especially being that sergeant's course, that all you needed was one LOA and you get a
Mandatory.
What do you call it?
Commendatory fit rep.
Yeah, commendatory fit rep. And everybody was arguing like, nah, you need 3. Da-da-da. They brought out the order. All you needed was 1. I said, oh, say less.
Yep.
And
when
then
people come out with stuff like that, that's a standard for their unit, which is a lie.
Right. People change the standard to make it harder so that those Marines that stand out, that may not be the best Marine, but they always volunteering or they're always doing something different, they get those letters of appreciation, and the CO or the sergeant major's like, nah, he ain't getting no damn good fit rep. We're gonna make it a little bit harder for him. That's what that is. That's personal opinion. That ain't the order.
they could do that.
They tried. They do it to the dumb ones, but you
Right.
can't go against the Pez manual.
Oh yeah. Because once I read that, I was like, say less. 1 LOA for the year. Got it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So Key, what is one thing that you learned your first go around on recruiting that you're definitely bringing on the second go around of recruiting?
All right. It's a little personal, but a lot of people know that my very first year on recruiting duty, I got a divorce. The only thing that I would say that I would bring to the table this time as a boss is you can't forget that you are a Marine. Yes, it's a business, but at the same time, you got to be there for your Marines. When I was going through my divorce, the people on base was helping me with my situation. My boss didn't care nothing about it. It was talking to Jones, or it was talking to Shanks, or it was talking to Sergeant Major AG at the time. It was talking to them that helped me get through it and do what I need to do to make it. Because, hey, I still got kids. I still got to provide for them. I still got to make it through. I said all this to say this. You still got to recognize different signs that are going on with your team. You got to know your team. You got to build that trust within your team. And if you don't, one weak link within your team, the whole team gonna fail. So I would say that just know your Marines, be there for them. Don't forget the aspects that you have learned in the world of leadership, and try to make things better for them while they're out there.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with recruiting with me. I feel like if you are in a good mindset and things are going well at home, even if you got to let them go home a few hours early, hey, go take your wife out on a date. Something like that. You about to go eat lunch? Hey, call your wife up, but work at the same time too, but y'all go eat lunch together. Stuff like that.
Yeah, recruiting duty will ruin a relationship, especially a relationship that's already weak or already got damage in it.
But no foundation.
Yeah, it'll. I don't care how strong the foundation is. If it's a crack in it, it's gonna tear it apart. Because if you're in a failing station, Albany, RS, Catonsville, where I was at, we was a winning station. We had a weak leader that didn't believe in letting people go home. My wife understand me getting home at 11 o'clock every night. Why the hell you get home at 11 o'clock? Hey man, I don't get off work till 10 o'clock. It's an hour ride home. Hell. So,
yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. I forgot what day of the week it was, but everybody know their car. Everybody knows their car. You know where the recruiting office is in Albany, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right across the street, that bank still there?
Yep.
No bull crap. At 10:30 at night, I saw my ex-wife park across the street at that bank just to see if I was still at work. And this is what I did. I went out the back door, walked all the way around, down the street a little bit, came back up behind her through the freaking tree line, and I tapped on the window. I said, "What are you doing?" And she couldn't say nothing. She was just, the only thing she said was, "I wanted to see if you was really telling me the truth, that you was really at work."
Jeez.
That's recruit duty, dude. That's recruit duty. I'm telling you, if your station is failing, you ain't going home.
Mm-hmm.
You are not going home. You're gonna be at work all day, every day, because they got to figure out a reason why. Either you're gonna start recruiting better, or because I told you pressure. Either you want to go home and spend time with your family, you miss watching your kids grow up, or you like being at work for 18 hours a day, every day. And don't nobody like that.
And my first boss put that pressure. She put that pressure on me every day.
That's what was done to her. See, the new way of thinking is this, and hopefully Keyes, when he gets back out there this time, social media is it. You connect with a kid on social media, and they kind of trust you, man, they'll bring you all their friends.
Oh yeah.
All of them might not join, but as long as you don't do nothing kind of crazy on social media, you'll be golden. Follow them social media guidelines and you straight. But you can't keep a person at work 18 hours a day. It doesn't produce anything, because I'm guaranteeing you, when they did it to me when I was in Baltimore, I know 8 of them 15 hours, I wasn't doing nothing. I was just there. What
Yeah. Yeah.
Mentally, you need a break. How many phone calls can you make in a day?
A lot.
On average, it's about 250. You can make 250 phone calls, because about 100 of them, 120 of them ain't even gonna answer the phone.
Yep.
250. Jeez.
So you just dial numbers.
Call center vibes right there.
Right.
Pretty much.
But you trying to get you 3 appointments for the next day.
Yeah, man.
You want to do it on the phone? You want to do it in person? How you want to do it?
Sometimes your boss want to see.
Yep.
So don't lie.
Hey, look, we're going to FaceTime. Do you think FaceTime virtual would be considered FaceTime, right?
It's the same thing, but I think what is it? They're downloading these different apps on the phones, and I know they're using the Facebook Messenger to do it too. So
the only thing I say about social media is this, and it's just me being me. Be very, very cautious when you're dealing with these kids. These kids are smart, and they will record your conversation, and they'll splice it together, and you be like, I said that, but I ain't say it like that. And before you know it, you be like, oh man, these kids just, especially when they don't want to do it. Yep. Like you gotta be very, very cautious when you're dealing with these kids. Make sure I would even encourage their parents to be in the interview with them, especially if they got to sign the papers anyway.
I always like the parents there, because that's their biggest supporter. That's their biggest influence. And if the parent ain't on board, they ain't going.
They ain't on board. Yep. Or it's either the parents not on board and they want to do it anyway, or the parents not on board at all and the kid got to convince their mom or dad that they want it's okay. So
I had to wait.
Yeah, some parents make you wait till you're 18 to join the military.
Oh, I had to wait till I was 20. I don't know what type of mind control my mama had over me during that time, but I literally sneaked to go to the freaking recruiting office and all the pool functions. At 20 years old, bro. I was still living in her house, and I did whatever it took to make it to the pool functions. My recruiter came to my mama's house. She cussed him out, but good on him. He didn't quit. He started looking for me. I used to work 12 to 12 at a ER. That was my last job before I joined the Marine Corps. And when I tell you, this man came to my job, somehow, some way he found me. He was like, hey, man, your mama just cussed me out, but I know I received this information about you saying you want to be a Marine. Do you still want to do it? Yes, sir. Yes, I do. Okay, meet me at my office at this time. I took my mama to work that next morning, and then I went to the office, did everything I needed to do. When it was time to go to Melts, I told my mom I was spending the night at a homeboy house, and that's how it worked for me. But my mom always used to tell me, you are not fixing to join some white man's military. That's what she used to tell me. Now, she tell me, you need to stay in there and don't get out till your time is up, because ain't nothing here for you.
See how the mindset shift?
She did.
Because-
I'll tell you even this. My promotion ceremony, when I got promoted to staff sergeant, that is the only thing that my mother has ever witnessed in my career. She never came to my boot
That's when I
camp.
met your mother. Yep. I met your
She
mother.
never
in
came to
Albany.
boot camp. She never came to any other promotion, no other graduations. But she made it that they even bought a brand new car. 2000, what year I got promoted? 16. 16? Yeah, October 2016. She bought a 2016 Toyota Camry that she still got to this day with 0 miles on it because her other car messed up, and she made that drive all the way to Auburn.
Yep.
That's dope.
She did.
I was telling somebody when I retired, I said my sister and my mother in all my 20 years had never been to none of my duty stations. None. So when you say your mother made it to Albany for your promotion, it ain't rare that your family won't come, because it's something in them that says, well, you in the military, you can come home and visit me. Why I gotta come see you? So my mother made it to Albany when I retired. That was it.
Yep.
Nothing else. My sister made it to Albany. I lived in Hawaii. I lived in Okinawa. I mean, I lived in some good places, and they never made it. None of them. They make it to damn Albany.
Yep.
So.
Well, I salute you, Keyes, for going back. For going back, because some people they dread it, and the politics. You know, some people don't like the politics out there because it is more politics on recruiting versus on the actual fleet. So, but you know, like you said earlier, you like that high tempo stress.
Yep.
Fourth quarter down by 7. You know, no timeouts remaining.
Very true.
Pass the ball to me, Bob. So I salute you for that, because, jeez.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jones.
Whether you see me before you get to Cali or when you get back, we'll get together. We'll get together.
Yeah.
I go to school, focus on what you got to. I mean, it ain't like recruiter school changed that much. It's gonna be the same stuff you learned before. And the instructor should be a little bit more. I ain't gonna say they're gonna be lenient with you because you already done it, but you still got to pass the test and all that BS, whatever it is you got to do. But just do it and get out on the street and do great things, because there's some people out there right now, whether you know it or not, you got people that's rooting for you, and you got people that's praying for your downfall, and that's human nature.
Yeah.
It's somebody in Fort Leonard Wood right now saying he ain't gonna make it. He going back to recruiting duty. He should have stayed up here, or he should have went back to the fleet. It's just human nature. But you know, when the road get bumpy, you know who to call. You got people you can call and you lean on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I guess before I close out, do you have any keys to drop or some gems to drop for our first-time recruiters that may be seeking to go recruiting, or that's on recruiting right now that think it's a bad tour?
A lot of people came to me and asked me that very same question. The best advice I can give somebody is make your own, what's the word I'm looking for? Judge recruiting from your own works. Don't judge recruiting just because somebody else went through something. Just because they had a bad time or they was in a bad area, that don't mean you're going to go through the exact same thing. I had a good time on recruiting duty. I had hardships, but at the end of the day, I had an awesome time. A lot of people, they go places and it's not so well. But that don't mean you put that on somebody else. I had a whole Chief 1 Officer 3. I was talking to a gunnery sergeant that just got off recruiting duty. And he was like, so where do you work? We was in the PX line. I was like, MTIC, gunnery sergeant. He's like, how much time you got left here? I said, a week, sir. A week. He's like, okay, where you headed? I said, back on recruiting duty. He said, say what? I said, back on recruiting duty, gunnery sergeant. The guy in front of him, his OIC, turned around. He's like, are you nuts? Do I need to take you to the 4th floor at the hospital? I said, no, sir. And he was like, Marine, I don't know what's wrong with you, but if you made it out of there successfully, why would you want to go back? I said, sir, I love the stress. I love it. And that's all he's just like, okay, well, you made it out of the Fort Leonard Wood, so hey, congratulations to you and good luck. I was like, appreciate it, sir. Paid for my stuff, and I left. You got to judge things for yourself and not take the words of everybody else.
Yeah. No, I'm doing a podcast. Well, that is a gem because, like you said, just because they went through a situation doesn't mean that you'll be going through a situation, and it is what it is at that point. I still got it up and recording. No, you good. But I mean, it is what it is. So that's all I have for the podcast. Make sure y'all go on unpredictablethoughtstwo.com and keep that same energy sweatshirts, the merchandise. Keep that same energy. Is all about consistency in the most simplest form. Jones, you want to shout out your business?
No, I'm not shouting it out tonight. We're gonna do another podcast in a couple of weeks. We're gonna talk about small business struggle in COVID because I'm struggling in COVID, killing me.
Of course, I could do that all day. But thank y'all for listening. Keyes, thank you for coming back on. We definitely will be talking to you again once you hit them streets. Yeah. So thank you.
Best of luck to you, brother. Best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Peace. Let me pause this. We want to.